My coworker, 20s, F, mimics everything I do, 27, F, down to what I wear. I've ignored it, but it's now making me uncomfortable. So this is gonna sound totally elementary school. I started a new job around 8 months ago and became pretty friendly with everyone quickly. This one girl around my age in particular. I've never hung out with her outside of work, but we've become what I considered work friends, same with other people in the office. However, since practically the beginning, she's done this thing where she copies me. At first I didn't even notice, because who notices that past 7th grade, until it started getting extreme. She'll go buy exact outfits I wear and wear them how I styled them. Same shoes, she's grown her hair longer and also dyed it my natural color, and she started doing her makeup exactly like me after asking what products I use. I have 2 bracelets I wear that I got on Cape Cod, you can't buy them anywhere else, and she managed to find one of them on eBay, and wears it. She even copies some of my mannerisms and even my laugh, which I thought meant she was making fun of me, at first. Like for a second I thought it was kind of cute and flattering, but I just bought a new vehicle a couple weeks ago, and she came into work today with the exact same car, even the color. It's starting to weird me out a little and make me uncomfortable. Do I just ignore it and hope she finds someone more interesting? Do I subtly talk to her? TL, Dr. Coworker copies my outfits, mannerisms, and does everything I do. It's slightly uncomfortable, so what do I do? I had this same issue with a family member. Her behavior escalated. It started with my clothes and personality/interest, then evolved to hobbies and purchases. The car is when I drew the line. I had to grey rock. I completely limited what they saw on social media, and then if I'm around her in person I become a grey rock. If she asks where I got something, just say I dunno. Thrift store maybe. Be vague. I'd say this is the less confrontational route. Just try to be as uninteresting as possible in person. Don't let them get too much info from your social. Don't talk about where you get stuff. You could go either way with talking to her. You could be uninterested in her so she thinks you don't like her, then maybe she won't like you. Or you could ask her about herself a lot and make her think she has some worth or value. First try the grey rock technique, Google it, and put her on an information diet. If you have HR, I would talk to them casually about it, no accusations, just how you feel uncomfortable, and see what they say. If I were you, would be tempted to literally change my look every week lol. Keep her on her toes. Easier said than done, but I wouldn't want to work with anyone that had those type of mental health issues. If she's that off her rocker, I'd want to switch departments. This could just be me overthinking, but this could become dangerous. I mean, a car. That's a lot of money. Maybe ask coworkers if she's done this before with other people. I would let people know, because this could be working up into stalker behavior. If something happens to you, like you see someone outside your home, maybe a break-in, being stalked and such, there's plenty of people who can say that this girl has had extremely creepy behavior. Please stay safe. Maybe wear something super spunky for a few days, bright colors and patterns, very unique, but anyone can get it. And see if she asks about them and comes into work with a similar or the same outfit. Then you can confront her and show a photo of yourself from a day or two before wearing that same exact outfit. Maybe make a list of all the things she's copied. Make a full-on argument to put her in her place. She might have a mental illness that's causing her to act that way, or maybe you're super pretty and she's jealous of that, and is taking it to the extreme. Come in wearing a bald cap and see if you can get her to shave her head. Jokes aside, all you can really do is ask her what's up, but expect her to pretend like she has no idea what you're talking about and possibly become quite defensive. Someone with that weak and internal locus of control will probably be swept away by the next thing that comes along though, so waiting it out might be an option. How have your other coworkers reacted to this? Yeah, I'm pretty sure no one has directly said anything to me about it except one guy that I'm closest to at work. My friend is getting scammed. How can I help her understand? Too long didn't read. My friend has the IQ of a teenager. She's in the middle of a sweetheart scam. She isn't aware of it. She lost thousands of dollars, money she doesn't have. She is getting sucked for more money. No one is willing to give her money, so she is trying to get a loan. No one is able to talk any sense into her, including her brother, dad, and closest friends. I am a trusted family friend, and somehow I became the only competent person able to deal with this situation. But I am just an average dude. Help me get through to her without crushing her. Longer version: I have been dealing with this issue for 2 full days, and I'm exhausted. Long story short, I have a very simple-minded friend. She's 32, but probably has the IQ of a 12-year-old. Not being mean, I just need help dealing with this situation, and I need to tell it as is. She is in the middle of a sweetheart scam, and they have scammed her of a huge amount of money she doesn't have. It's basically her dad's money that was meant to pay rent and emergency bills. The scammers got her to download a sketchy app, where she deposited the money despite getting warning messages from the bank that the receiver's info is sketchy and likely to be a scam. She okayed the transaction despite the bank warning. She's in love with this guy she met online a few months ago. Has seen one picture of him, and they have never FaceTimed. One time she went to his city, long distance relationship, to visit him. They planned to meet up. However, when that day came, he was too busy with work to meet up. Surprise surprise. She still believes this guy. Trust me, that I am 100% sure she is being scammed. The problem is, how do I break it to her? Somehow, I became the most competent person in dealing with this issue. I am looking for advice on how to approach this situation to her. So far, I have already mentioned to her that she was being scammed. 2 days ago when I first learned about it, when she called me. She explained the situation to me, and as she was doing so, I said it sounds like a textbook scam. She didn't really have any response, and tends to withdraw like a deer in headlights whenever I mention the word scam. I briefly talked to her today with a different approach. I asked her how much she trusts me, her dad, her brother, and her BF. She trusts us, but she said she doesn't know how to answer when I asked about trusting the BF. I didn't press further. I asked a similar question: would your dad ever hurt you? No. Your brother? No. Me? No. Would your BF ever hurt you? I don't know how to answer that. I didn't press further. In hindsight, it sounds like an interrogation. I felt like this was a bad approach. So I changed it up by asking things in a lighter/fun tone, like, do you like him a lot? Somewhat. Is he handsome? I don't know. I don't care about looks. Have you asked for his picture? Of course not. How can I ask him that? I told her that if my GF never asks me for a picture, it's a sign she isn't interested in me. She said that makes sense, and she never thought about it that way. Essentially, I'm discreetly trying to get her to become suspicious of why this guy never shows what he looks like to her. I wonder if this is the right approach. The other approach is to just tell her it's a scam and show her all the evidence I have collected, and link her to articles about these scams she's in. I felt like that approach would be worse. I am not a professional, just a normal average dude who went through some therapy, so I have some empathy for her. I'm trying to ease her into the truth rather than just dump it all on her at once. I need advice on how to move forward. /edit/. I have skimmed through most of the comments. 100 plus is a lot to read on little time. Thanks for all the help. Some things to point out. /many have noted some kind of adult protection service. I think this is the path their family needs to go through. Regarding her mental capacity, I mentioned she has a low IQ because of this incident and just from general contact with her. She is just simple-minded. I am not aware of her being diagnosed with any mental disability, or taking an IQ tests that show she has low IQ. So my comment was more of an observation. You could try reverse imaging the one photo he has shown your friend. Just type into Google reverse image and paste the photo into the box, and it will tell you how many times it has been used across the internet. Odds are, if this is a scam, this image would have been used many times on there. Then just show your friend the reverse image results. Hope this helps. This is a very tricky situation. You can keep pushing her and try to get her to see the truth, but there is also the risk that she'll double down and trust him even more because he's the only one who understandable their love. If she is spending her father's money, he needs to cut her off. If the money is for rent, he should pay the landlord directly and not give the money to her. She's a grown woman, but if you're correct and she's intellectually impaired and won't see/accept the scam, the people around her must step in to stop enabling the situation. If the money dries up, the scammer will get impatient and will probably become more desperate/nasty, and maybe then she'll see that he isn't a good guy. It sounds like your friend needs a guardian tbh to manage her finances. Even if you get her out of it this time, the world is full of scammers looking to separate people like your friend from their money. Honestly, I think you are taking the right approach given her mental age. I think you just need to keep asking questions, but I think you need to include some leading questions rather than just yes/no responses. Ask her things like, how do you think a boyfriend should treat his girlfriend? Does he treat you that way? What do you want out of a relationship? Does he give you what you need? What is a healthy relationship? Give her a chance to evaluate this situation without being made to feel stupid. Let her find her own conclusion and support her when she finally reaches it. Scammers feed these kinds of people the idea that it's them against a world that wants to rip them apart. So the fix is not being actively against the scammer and getting the victim to figure it out on their own. Of course, making sure she's cut off from any money, change banking passwords, etc., is important, but as far as growing from this experience and not doing it again, she's going to have to learn that on her own. I don't have great advice, but this is happening to my mother right now. She's imploded her life over a man she has 3 photos of and has never seen on video. She's acting like a lovesick rebellious teenager at 72. She was kicked out of the place she was living and is no longer speaking to anyone who does not enable this fantasy. She started planning a wedding after knowing him for 2 months. He claims to live in her city, but work overseas doing contract work. His arrival date back home has shifted since January. He supposedly makes $400K a year, but still needs money from her. There are days at a time she doesn't hear from him. It's so clearly a scam, but she's so convinced that she is right and in love and that everyone else is being unfair to him. It's heartbreaking, but the path forward for me right now is just not letting it drag me down as well. I could spend every ounce of my mental energy anguishing and it still wouldn't do any good. I know that's not the advice you're looking for, but it's all I have to offer being in a similar spot. Similar thing with a distant relative. She literally divorced her husband because he wouldn't let her sell their house to send this guy more money. Supposedly not romantic, but she feels bad for him. He needs the money. Sigh. I don't want to have sex with my boyfriend anymore. Me 24F and him 29 meters, have been living together for nearly a year, and sex has dropped from once a day at first to once a week, but now about twice a month. At first I had been wanting to talk to him about our declining sexual frequency. He always refused to have sex with me because he was stressed. I am a high sexual need person, but he always evaded or always promised to change but never did. Gradually, I stopped looking forward to having sex with him. I work it out on my own, but I basically say yes every time he asks for sex. But I didn't enjoy it anymore. I was on a mission when I had sex with him. I still wanted to have sex and still liked it, but the thought of having sex with him suddenly turned me off. I love him, but sex is also an important part for me. I feel I am so pathetic sometimes. Anyone have similar experience or advice? Too long didn't read. After my boyfriend refusing have sex with me for a while, I lost my sex desire to him.